Welcome back, Crazy Wyatt. Let's rip and tear until it is done.
Hey, what's up, Marauder? Yeah, I need some assistance with with attacking an Automaton fortress and then going after 4 command bunkers on level 10 difficulty. Also, I'm playing solo, and this is my loadout: supply pack, heavy machine gun, 3 orbital lasers, and 2 Eagle 500 kg bombs. Those ones, they have cooldowns, but I only get 3 lasers. As for my armor, it's Democracy Protects. My primary weapon, Liberator Penetrator. My secondary weapon, the Ultimatum. My grenade is a Thermite Grenade. And my booster, Experimental Infusion.
All right, I understand the situation. You're planning a solo assault on an Automaton fortress, followed by an attack on 4 command bunkers at level 10 difficulty, and you've provided your loadout. To formulate the best strategy, I need a bit more information. First, what are your specific objectives for this operation? Are you trying to liberate the entire area, or are you focused on completing specific missions within the fortress and bunkers? Second, what is your preferred playstyle? Do you prefer a stealthy approach, or are you more comfortable with direct confrontation? Third, what are your biggest concerns or challenges you anticipate facing with this loadout and the solo approach?
Let's say I land in front of a fortress. I want to take that out first. It's optional, but I chose to go after the fortress. I'm going to need firepower to take it down. I need to deal with the reinforcements. I got to deal with heavy armor, and I need to take out the primary objective, which is the 4 command bunkers, but I chose to land in front of the fortress first, just to get it out of the way. And then after the command bunkers, there's also some side objectives like a Seif SAM site, which, it's good for shooting down the bot ships. There's a LiDAR station, it's good for seeing everything on the map. And there's a jammer I need to deal with.
Okay, I understand. You're prioritizing the Automaton fortress first, then the 4 command bunkers, followed by the optional objectives: CIF, SAM site, LiDAR station, and jammer. You're looking for a strategy that emphasizes firepower, dealing with reinforcements and heavy armor, and completing all objectives solo. Given this information, I need to clarify a few points to create the most effective plan. First, what is the layout of the fortress? Are there any obvious weak points or choke points that we can exploit? Second, what types of heavy armor units are you expecting to encounter? Knowing this will help us prioritize targets and choose the most effective weapons. Third, what is the proximity of the optional objectives to the command bunkers and the fortress? This will help us plan the order of attack and minimize travel time.
So the side objectives, they're kind of scattered all across the map, just like the command bunkers, so it's just all over the place. As for the enemies that we got to deal with, we got Hulks, we got Devastators, heavy Devastators. Let's say the Jet Brigade are there too, and the Incineration Corps, and also a bunch of basic enemies as well. And then we have to deal with the flying gunships. Yeah, we got to deal with the gunships. Those are a pain in the butt. And then we got to take out the fabricators and grab the automaton skull that has the data that we could bring back to the extraction zone.
Okay, I understand. The side objectives and command bunkers are scattered across the map. You'll be facing a variety of enemies, including Hulks, Devastators, Heavy Devastators, Jet Brigadiers, Incinerator Corpses, basic enemies, and gunships. You also need to destroy fabricators and retrieve the automaton skull. Given this information, I need to clarify a few points to create the most effective plan. First, what is the terrain like around the fortress and command bunkers? Is it open, or are there natural obstacles that we can use for cover? Second, how effective have you found your current loadout against the various enemy types, especially the heavily armored ones? Are there any specific enemies that you struggle with? Third, how comfortable are you with using your supply pack to support your heavy machine gun and other stratagems?
Well, I love using the supply pack. It's good. It keeps me ammunition topped off. It gives me more grenades, more stims. I don't have to always rely on the supply pod, even though I do call it down when I need to. But a heavy machine gun is good for dealing with a bunch of enemies. The environment, let's say it's like Malevelon Creekish. It's similar to that environment where it's like kind of jungly. There's like rock formations here and there. That'd be good cover. But there's a lot of trees, a lot of foliage. There's rivers we could cross, but that would just slow me down. But it's kind of an open world with a little bit of everything kind of terrain.
Okay, I understand. You're comfortable with the supply pack. The environment is similar to Malevolent Creek with a mix of open areas, jungle-like foliage, rock formations, and occasional rivers. Given this information, I need to clarify a few points to create the most effective plan. First, how quickly can you eliminate a fabricator with your current loadout? Second, how often do you find yourself running out of stratagem uses before the cooldowns reset? Third, how effective is your Liberator Penetrator against the Automaton's weak points?
Well, since the Liberator Penetrator is for medium, I usually use it on basic enemies, mostly, and then I can use it on Devastators, heavy Devastators. I can shoot off their machine guns so they can't fire at me. But if I'm facing Hulks, I'm probably going to use Thermite Grenades or heavy machine guns. For the command bunkers, I'd probably use my 3 orbital lasers, 1 for each bunker, and then on the 4th bunker, I'll use a 500 kg Eagle Airstrike. And then, back to the fortress, we just take out the fabricators with the ultimatum and any additional thermite grenades, use the supply pack if I need to, replenish my thermites, and then just collect the skull and get out of there.
Okay, I understand. You use the Liberator Penetrator for basic enemies and to disarm Devastators, thermite grenades, and the heavy machine gun for Hulks, orbital lasers and Eagle 500 kilogram bombs for command bunkers, and the ultimatum and thermite grenades for fabricators. Given this information, I can formulate a preliminary strategy. First, prioritize eliminating the gunships as quickly as possible. They can disrupt your movements and inflict significant damage. Use the heavy machine gun to target their weak points. Second, when approaching the fortress, use the terrain to your advantage. Utilize the rock formations and foliage for cover, and avoid open areas where you're vulnerable to enemy fire. Third, focus fire on the heavy armor units, such as Hulks and heavy Devastators. Use thermite grenades and the heavy machine gun to exploit their weak points. Does this sound like a good starting point?
Yeah, keep going.
Okay, let's continue. Fourth, when attacking the command bunkers, use your orbital lasers and Eagle 500 kilogram bombs strategically. Prioritize the bunkers that are closest to each other to maximize the effectiveness of your attacks. Fifth, when dealing with fabricators, use the ultimatum and thermite grenades to quickly destroy them. Focus fire on the fabricators to prevent them from spawning more enemies. Sixth, when collecting the Automaton skull, be aware of your surroundings. Clear the area of any remaining enemies before approaching the skull, and use your supply pack to replenish your ammunition and grenades. Seventh, when extracting, choose a route that minimizes your exposure to enemy fire. Utilize the terrain for cover and avoid open areas where you're vulnerable to attack. Do you have any questions about these steps?
Everything sounds good. What about the side objectives, like the Seif SAM site, the Automaton jammer, and the LiDAR station that lets me see everything on the map?
Okay, let's integrate the side objectives into the plan. First, assess the location of each side objective relative to your primary objectives. Prioritize the CF SAM site to eliminate the threat of bot ships, then the LiDAR station to gain a tactical advantage, and finally, the Automaton jammer to disrupt enemy communications. Second, when approaching each side objective, use a stealthy approach to minimize the risk of detection. Utilize the terrain for cover, and avoid open areas where you're vulnerable to enemy fire. Third, when attacking each side objective, focus fire on the key components to quickly disable them. Use your heavy machine gun and thermite grenades to destroy the CF SAM site's radar dish, the LiDAR station's antenna, and the Automaton jammer's transmitter. Fourth, after completing each side objective, be aware of your surroundings. Clear the area of any remaining enemies before moving on to the next objective, and use your supply pack to replenish your ammunition and grenades. Does this sound like a good approach?
Yeah, that's good. Like, we took out the fortress, we collected the skull, we took out the command bunkers, We did the side objectives, and we made it to extraction. Thanks, man, for Super Earth. Oh, he just left? Man. He just left.
Welcome back, Crazy Wyatt. Let's rip and tear until it is done.
So yeah, we did our objective on the Automaton sides, and we made it to extraction. So thank you for your help, man, for Super Earth and democracy.
Excellent work, Helldiver. I'm glad to hear that the mission was a success. Is there anything else I can assist you with regarding future operations or strategic planning?
I'll let you know, but your advice is crucial as always. Thank you.
Understood. I remain ready to assist when needed. Do you have any questions about potential threats, resource allocation, or strategic options that might be relevant for future planning?
Maybe another time, but Super Earth thanks you for your service.
Very well. I will be here when you require further assistance. For Super Earth.
Yay, and it actually recorded this time.